Good morning. It's Monday, April the 19th, I think. uh, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. All right. I think it's the 19th. I am walking. I don't even know where I'm walking. I think I'm just going to do a turn along the sort of my normal walk along the creek, although I might reverse field from what I sometimes do. It's a beautiful morning, but it's about -4, so a little chilly. Anxious to get back working on the Tangled Stars, current Daw novel I'm working on, my next one. Got other things to do this week, like shooting our videos for the Flip the Script, Regina Lyric Musical Theater gender-swapped Broadway show that's coming up. It's got to be the garbage truck. I'm mostly just out to walk this morning. We'll maybe take a different path up onto the dike over here. So I hope everyone had a good weekend. Guess mine was good. Did 2 long walks. Really long one yesterday. When I watched it, I realized I had indeed gone in a circle through the same community gardens. I came in through one side, then I rediscovered them and walked through them again and was confused and actually thought they were a different community garden, but they were the same ones, which is how I ended up emerging exactly the same place. So, next time I'll know when I walk over that way. First time I'd ever walked in that direction. These row houses I pointed out before. Condos now, I think. If you happen to be watching this live, drop me a note. When you're watching this, it always looks like I'm going to run into something like that. All right, well, this is the footbridge down here, but we're going to go down here and get on the dike instead. Sort of reversing my normal path. See some of the new houses here that have been built. That's quite the window in the front of that one. Been getting a couple more stories in from Shapers of Worlds, Volume 2, the anthology I successfully kickstarted. Funded 10 days ago. I may get the Kickstarter funds this week, at which point I will take up the reins again on that project and start moving forward on all the stuff that needs to be done there, which is editing and, contracting with authors, sending the money for their stories, very fun, editing, and all that kind of stuff. Another new one, a couple of new ones down here. From what used to be here when I lived in the neighborhood, because I lived just one street over at one point. This is a nice one on the corner. Used to belong to Dr. Ash, ophthalmologist. My mother's ophthalmologist, in fact. There's our friend the footbridge up ahead. It's a big new one going up here. 2 lots taken up by that. Wearing my hat and gloves. It's just a little below freezing this morning. And we're not going across the footbridge this time. I'll walk along this side of the dike, which I don't do as often. Haven't even seen anybody with a dog yet. Here's the birds. Skin of ice on the water, it looks like, again, after being below freezing last night. That won't last long. As I pointed out before, this is it's actually a flood control bowl, but it's used by kids for tobogganing. Very popular. Morning. Already about ready to lose my hat. Chilly though it is. If you happen to be watching live on Facebook or YouTube, say hi. I'll say hi back, if I can read it. Not much to say. Just enjoying the morning. Somebody's coming up behind me. Don't know if they're catching me or not, but I can hear their footsteps. I think they're catching me. Definitely catching me. Yeah, a little bit of ice on the water there. Take this because I hate being followed. And also, this is a little more interesting. I've been along there many times and not down this way so much. I always feel threatened when there's somebody behind me slowly catching me. What are they going to do when they catch me? Pass me. But that's kind of annoying too when you're both moving at almost the same speed. Especially when you're carrying a camera and talking to yourself. I haven't had any notes from anybody, so don't know if anybody's watching live or not, but if you are on Facebook or YouTube, give me a note. I'll know you're there. We'll go this way. I haven't followed this path before. You can always find some new path to follow that changes your repetitious pattern. Don't hit my head on that. That would be good. Now this does loop right back up to the dike, but I'm going to turn right down here. Turn right at the police car. I don't know if it's somebody who's employed by the police or there's some reason there's a police car there. We're up here because I'm going to walk up Elphinstone shortly. Public service first. There's our police. There's actually a police car. Someone in it too. Didn't realize that when I was pointing the camera at it. They're pretty new in there. All the infill ones seem to be ultra modern. Almost all of them. Don't know why that's the trend. I guess instead of going up Elphinstone, I'll go straight up here. Just one block off of Elphinstone, but since I'm on this street, follow it instead. I don't think anybody's watching me live this morning. It's like they've all gone to work or something. Imagine that on a Monday morning. Monday. Oh, Monday morning couldn't guarantee. Sad song. Maybe won't sing that. St. Mary's Anglican Church up here on the right. Been there a few times for this and that over the years. Sang at a funeral there once. Been in the church hall for things. Not a spectacular church building, but nice. All right, and we'll turn left here. Go down, all the way down now to Pasqua, so a long straight run here, or walk. I'm not running anymore, not after last fall. My knees didn't like that. I was pleased I was able to do it. Wasn't so pleased when I then had a couple of weeks when I couldn't do it because of my knees, so this is better. Sun's coming up earlier and earlier. We still got, almost 2 months to the longest day of the year. The birds are very noisy already early. And at the peak of summer, they'll be noisy. Starting from about 3:30 in the morning is when they chirp up. Just a long straight walk here. Then we'll not zigzag, but wind our way back through the park in the opposite direction that I often walk. Last time I came out this way, there was snow on the ground from our last snowfall. Now it's all gone. Not really even seeing it too much in shady spots. Every once in a while, there's a patch. It's a pretty little house on the corner there. And redone at some point in the not too distant past, I would say. Painted at least. Which just I find attractive. Bigger than it looks from the front. Oh, somebody said hi. Morning Hwang, if that's how you pronounce it. It is a good morning, good lovely morning. A little chilly. Just not sure how to pronounce your first name. And no way to check, really. I suppose I could look it up and see. Somewhere on the web I might find out the correct pronunciation. I don't know if it's an ang sound or an ong sound. Probably an ang sound. Often walk the opposite direction along here. Long and straight. Nice and sunny though. Lots of bird song. Queen Street. I was on that one yesterday when I got turned around and did my double turn through the community gardens. It carries on the other side of the park, other side of Regina Avenue, I guess, actually, probably when it picks up. And it goes all the way down to the south edge of town. Just off it down there, a friend of mine lives. My best man, brilliant composer, Robert Urson, also artistic director for Do It With Class Young People's Theatre, where my daughter was a member for many years, and I was on the board for a while, and I've done their programs for many years too. Anyway, a tenuous connection, but Queen Street there runs all the way down south, and then sort of just before you get to the end of it, he lives off on Chelsea, I think it's called. And his sister, Jane, is directing the Regina Lyric musical theater production I've talked about, the Flip the Script, which is gender swapped Broadway tunes. We've got to do those recordings in front of a green screen. I want them by Wednesday, so we better get on that. And I'm doing a quartet where I sing all 4 parts, so that'll be fun to see what they do with that. Singing a duet with my wife, and my daughter's doing something as well. So if you're curious, you can get tickets at reginalyric.com. It's going to be online, so you can watch it from anywhere in the world. And I hope you do, if you're interested. It's like a really good cast and lots of it. So it'll be a good, solid couple of hours of entertainment, I think. A little worried about the sound will be a bit iffy because everybody's got different setups, and obviously that's going to be a bit all over the map, but they will clean it up as best they can to make it match. We were supposed to all record at Lakeview United Church, which I've walked by a few times, but with the current restrictions, they decided against that. I'm not sure there's anything in the restrictions that absolutely would prevent that, because it would be very few people inside a big auditorium. Lots of opportunity for staying well away from each other. But anyway, they decided not to do it. And perhaps it is against the restrictions, I don't really know. Here's Saskatchewan Express in front of us that I mentioned before. Touring company of young people that normally tours the province in the summer. There's usually a winter cast as well. And they've turned the gym of this old school into a nice theater in there too, where they've done actually full-size musical productions, which I keep thinking I'll audition for sometime, but obviously it didn't happen this time. It's often a Christmas show. It didn't happen this year. Yeah, there's certainly still some snow along the path. That might be they shoveled it and it piled up, or it might just be because of the shade of the trees. Anyway, so not completely snow-free yet. There's a Luvan over there, busy north-south thoroughfare. Higher speed limit, fewer traffic lights than Albert Street, which I've walked down many times. This is Pasqua Street. Also runs pretty much all the way from north to south. All right, I'll go down here, catch the path. Which I've most often walked along going in the other direction. Let's go down here. So back to the creek, Wascana Creek. Still haven't had any notes from Facebook this morning. I had quite a few yesterday, but it was the weekend. I suppose it's possible. People have better things to do than to watch me walk. Hard to believe. So there's the bridge, Wascana Creek Bridge. You can see there's a skin of ice from it being cold last night, but it'll be above freezing again today, and that will all warm up. And still some snow along the path here. Presumably there was a big drift, and then with the shade, it just hasn't melted yet. So it means I might still have an opportunity to slip on some ice if I work really hard. Might be my last chance this year, this winter. Yeah, it's already melting. It's a nice view up the creek there. Water looks pretty high, which I guess is not surprising. Here comes a bike. This is a joint use bike pedestrian path. Lots of birds. Now we will momentarily leave the creek as we take the totally unnecessary winding path. Winds purely for picturesque reasons. Could take a huge distance off by walking down the dirt path there, but it's not the goal today. We'll take the picturesque path. Yeah, a bit of snow still here and there. Last Friday's walk around the lake was really quite lovely, with the mist and the ice and the snow still on the ground. When I do it this Friday, which I intend to, that's going to be my walk around the lake day, it'll all be brown again. Oh, starting to green. You can see touches of green, even in the trees, some of them, and in the grass for sure, especially where the sun hits it regularly. So that hill up ahead of us, you can see a bit of green, at least I can. And I think the camera actually seems to pick up colors a little more vibrantly than my eyes do. I noticed on a previous walk, it's almost like there's a bit of saturation. This is the iPhone 11, in case you're wondering, and the Osmo 3 gimbal. There's a new Osmo, but I went with the 3. The guy that I've mentioned many times that walks in New York, walking commuter, has an iPhone 12 mini, I think, so probably a bit less weight because this is a 11 Pro, so the bigger one. Oop, almost dropped off the path there because I wasn't watching what I was doing. You twist an ankle. Live, right here on Facebook and YouTube. You can see me go down. I could go viral, but I'd rather not. Oh, look at that blue sky now. Camera likes that. That's the map that shows you the whole path. One shoelace is a little loose, but I'm not going to stop unless it gets really bad. It's getting quite warm inside my leather jacket. I may unzip it. In fact, I think I will. One of these days I'll be able to walk this in just a t-shirt and shorts. Generally, I'm off camera, so you never really know what I'm wearing. Could be making it all up. Nope, dog walkers. There's always dog walkers on this path. Not too surprising. Other people have dogs, so they do walking. I have a camera and a gimbal, so I do walking. Keeps me motivated. You're taking dogs for a walk. I'm taking my camera for a walk.
A dog is much better.
I don't know. I don't have to stop as often.
Well, there's that story.
Here's the footbridge. With, there's the creek, of course. And in the other direction, some geese down there. Making a pretty morning view of the creek. Anybody's watching live, give me a note. I've had one. Probably he was briefly on. Hello from Calgary that's been on, watched a few times, said hi. Danger thin ice, definitely is. Now, there's a couple ways I can go back. I have been cutting through Waterfall Park quite a bit, so I don't think I'll do that today. Also, there was enough snow down there. It might still be a little watery or slushy or even icy. So we'll just stick to the main path along the creek. Now, on the flip side from where I started, get home, cool off. Always quite sweaty when I get in. Just thought you'd like to know that. And then plunge into the tangled stars. One of these days I'll walk north on Elphinstone up here all the way down to Mosaic Stadium. Probably do that someday this week. And take a turn around down there. What you can see of it from the outside. It's a big, that's the exhibition grounds and Everest Place, which is big rink, and concerts and things are held there. I've seen Cirque du Soleil there and people like that. Alabama years ago. Then there's other rinks and a bunch of barns and things for the exhibition. That's where Sask Expo was held, and hopefully will be again. And we can do that sort of thing again, so I can sell books again. So I usually do about $1,000 worth of book sales off my table at one of those 2-day conventions. So I usually do the one here and the one in Saskatoon. I'd like to do Calgary some year when it comes back. It's a bit intimidating. It's a lot of stock I'd have to drive over there for a 4-day convention. And of course, staying in a hotel can easily eat up your entire day's sales. But it's as much about being visible and people remembering your name later as it is about selling books, I think, for me. Everybody that picks up a book and reads it and likes it just might buy your next one. I can't see that that's happening. There's no way to tell. Book sales are always disappointing for everybody. It seems, even if you're selling a lot more than me, people are disappointed. But I keep writing them. They keep getting published. People hopefully keep reading them. Unfortunately, other people keep writing books too. If they just stop, and I was the only one writing books, I would be fabulously wealthy. But no, lots of people write books of varying degrees of quality, but these days, even that doesn't stop you from getting published and making money. You can publish what would seem to me to be an objectively bad book, but you find the right niche for it, and the readers will pay for it. So every book you put out there, you hope this is the one that lots of readers will respond to. And sometimes you're right, and sometimes you're wrong. I don't actually recommend being a novelist if you're looking to make money. I don't think anybody would. So being an actor, you might make a lot of money. Odds are you won't. So it has to be something you really love and you feel it's important, at least to yourself, to do. And I do love telling stories. So I guess I'll keep doing it. I'm 61 years old. A little late to turn over a new leaf and take up, I don't know, macrame. I'm sure that's a good way to make money. Of course, I do act, but that's even much of a sideline for me, just the occasional professional show over the years. Here comes a jogger.
Morning.
Morning. Grass is looking quite green down in there. There's a certain amount of budding happening on that hedge to my right too. And over there is the waterfall park that I walked through yesterday. Still quite a bit of snow and ice over on its shady side. We'll cross over on the footbridge, then we'll walk along the dike, and I'll be home before you know it. least I will. I don't know where you are. Apparently not watching me based on the lack of commentary this morning on the live stream. Although yesterday, I don't think I had any comments from YouTube, but there were 5 or 6 people had watched it on YouTube. I discovered when I got home. So lots of people watch and don't comment, or not lots, but some do. So I shouldn't read too much into that. I don't know who's watching me at any given moment. There we go, the creek and the footbridge there. Where we're headed. Got my glove now. At least on my... I can take it off on my right hand too, so pardon any strange motions here. There. Oh, you decided you thought I wanted to point it over there, but I don't. I want to point it back here. Gimbal has a mind of its own. Okay. Probably literally, since there's clearly a computer chip somewhere. Now the land really does slope to the right here, so if the horizon looks way off, the path slopes, I can feel it as I'm walking. More dogs. Okay, over the footbridge. Not really sure what the thin ice sign is doing way up here. You'd have to really work to get down to the water, but I suppose you could if you were stupid. There's the creek. Along the dike, back to Italic Street. Almost out of time to leave a comment if you happen to be on Facebook watching this. Getting close to home. How long has this been? 44 so far. I'll go down these stairs just to keep varying things. So we're going down to Italic. Oh no, I went down that way, yes, last time. I will keep going. Go all the way down to Angus Boulevard just to add a little extra. But I don't think I need a little extra today. This will all turn green soon-ish. A few more weeks. You won't know the place. There's my staircase. Usually I come up it. This time I'm going down it. Onto Italic. And then, what, 3 blocks to the corner and we're done. Now straight ahead to the stop sign, and then I will stop. Oh, I know the other thing I didn't mention. If you haven't heard yet, you probably have by the time you're watching this, but the NASA helicopter on Mars successfully flew this morning. First powered flight on another planet. And they're calling the place where it was, they're going to call it Wright Brothers Field. It just went up and hovered, came back down. I presume they will try something a little more risky for the next flight as they continue to see how well this works. Pretty amazing considering how thin the atmosphere is on Mars. But clearly they did their calculations correctly as to blade design and speed of rotation and all that. And the rover even got images and I think video of it. We've seen some still images sort of stitched together to make a little GIF. I saw GIF. I presume there's going to be probably there's an actual video coming. Very cool. And it has a piece of the Wright Brothers flyer on board it. So a little piece of the Wright Brothers flying on Mars. And in the big scheme of things, the Wright Brothers flight wasn't all that long ago. And think how far we've come since then. It really is a science fiction world we live in. We just don't appreciate it because we've reached it one day at a time. But if you'd been suddenly thrust into it, it would have been every bit as fantastical as science fiction portrayed it. Just in different ways, because science fiction isn't about prediction, per se. Oh, I should also mention that tomorrow night at 7, I'm doing a Zoom presentation for the library about fantasy world building. So I'll be drawing on all the great interviews I've done through the podcast and my own experience. So you can still register for that if you go to reginalibrary.ca, but I think you have to have a Regina library card, maybe. I think it's just for patrons, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, check it out if you're interested. Okay, my stop sign. So if you watch this live, thanks for coming along. If you watch the recording, thanks for coming along. I'll be back tomorrow. Bye for now.